Now for the point after. It's good to make it 17-7. The ball upright on the tee, and the Saints kick team booms it away. This will be brought out from the middle of the end zone. And that decision to bring it out ends up not being a good one. Costs him about 5 yards as he's tackled at the 20. The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive. They make their second half debut here, and things are looking a little bit tougher now. You give up the points there, Charles, that touchdown drive on the other side. He's got a man complete. And he gets this to the other side of midfield across the 45 before going out. A gain of 37. Well, you had all halftime to think about what you wanted to do to start the second half. They came out with a big one.
Does that not beg the question? What was happening in the other locker room at halftime? Was that the one play they didn't cover as a possibility? Because they just gave up a big, big gain.
They're looking for Lamb, but it's intercepted. Picked off by Alontae Taylor. And the Saints are going to get it back here just shy of the 20. Oh, and I saw the pressure coming at him. That just looked problematic. Hit him as he threw it, and the interception ensued.
Let me pay homage to the man who stood in this spot before. He always talked about how much pressure is in the face of a guy, and can he step into a throw? And when you can't do that, oftentimes interceptions result.
The tackle made by Caleb Chason.
Not a huge carry there on first down, but not all of them will be. But still, all in all, a positive play for the offense. It's all about picking up at least a few to set up what you're going to do here on second down.
Kamara gets it again on second down. And the second wave of tacklers is going to get him as they stop him behind the line. That's going to go down as a loss of 5, and it brings up third down.
I know they've got to be careful not to go to the well too often, but it's a fine line, isn't it? Because sometimes if you've got success, you want to just keep pounding away.
But no success there. They rallied quickly on the defensive end. The play action fake. They'll look to throw. And that's going to be incomplete. The contact there enough to jar that ball free, and it brings up fourth down.
That's an excellent job right there on third down. Like any defense, you never want to let them get anything started, and that would have been a first down. Instead, you saw the contact on time, no penalty, and before this drive could get wings, it's fourth down.
43 yards on the punt, return of 4, and the Ravens, they'll take over. The Baltimore offense at the line, set to get going. Not an ideal way to end their previous drive. They threw the interception, Charles, after they had built up some momentum. They were moving the football, but something to at least build on for this offense as they run back out here.
Yeah, you're right about that. Up until that last play, everything was working pretty well for this offense. Gaining chunks of yardage, getting first downs, really making a push for the end zone, and looked like they had a nice rhythm going. Now you got to have a short memory here. Don't focus on the interception. Focus on what came before it and get back to it.
So the completion good for 6 yards. And now that sets up 3rd and 2.
Caught that look from you there, partner. I think we're on the same page on that one. Just his first catch. I think we both thought he'd be a little more active in the passing game. Let's see if that's the start of them trying to get the ball to him a little bit more here in the second half.
They go play action with Jackson. Rush coming, and he's taken down. They get him that time thanks to the safety blitz as he sank for a loss of 4. The Ravens send their punter out now as he's on to punt for the first time tonight. This is taken around the 12. 13 yards the tally on the return there. And the Saints will take over with a first down and 10. The Saints offense on the field, ready to get their drive started. And our game's hit a little bit of a lull here, a little bit of a snag. Punts on back-to-back drives.
An old school.
And now this is intercepted. My goodness. Picked off by Marlon Humphrey. And the Ravens are going to take possession of the football. They brought the house that time on the young rookie, maybe a little rattled through the pick.
And you have to be prepared for a lot of pressure as a rookie quarterback because most defensive coordinators are going to test you that way. So when you see that, the ball's got to get out of your hands quickly, and that means your receivers have to understand they have to break off their routes quickly as well.
Now on 2nd and 13, Jackson. He's got his man on the crossing route. Under a minute to go in this third quarter as they come up 1st and 10. Throwing is Jackson. And he can't find a receiver, and he's brought down. That was the safety, Marcus May, who got the sack there.
Safety blitz, such a fun play call to witness when it works. And the deep man can get home for a sack. Great timing by him. Interception earlier in this contest. Now a sack. He's definitely campaigning for Player of the Week honors, isn't he, partner?
Rolling to his left. Oh, and for the 3rd time, Jackson going to be intercepted. And the Saints are going to get the football back at their own 17. I know it appeared he was saying, hey, get me the football, I'm open, but I don't know if that's a pass that he should have thrown there.
Well, I don't think we've ever met a wide receiver that doesn't think he is open or is about to be open.
True.
So when you throw your hand up in the air and tell your quarterback, hey, I'm available, he's trusting that you are. In this case, he was not, and it turned into disaster for them.
Trying to shake off the interception from the last drive. He'll look to throw. He completes it to Olave. And he's going to get this one across the 30-yard line. From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10. He'll look to throw. He's going to sling this deep downfield. And this nearly an interception, but it's incomplete. Well, a turnover really would have helped him there, but not to be.
There is something to a game plan with trying to keep a defense honest. With a guy with that type of speed, you do so. Send him deep, try and throw some air under it, and hope you connect downfield. On that play, they were unsuccessful.
Here's 2nd and 10 now from about the 32.
Right there, hurt.
Kamara trying the right side. And some room to maneuver. And he is finally brought down at the Ravens' 24. 102 yards on the ground for him now as he has gotten better, really, as the night's gone on. At carries like that, that's how they're going to continue to salt this thing away here, Charles, in the 4th quarter.
Yeah, how about that? A new set of downs. Clock continues to move. No better way to close out a game than to tap those mastodons you have up front and say, guys, keep pounding them. Let's keep the ball, keep their offense on the sidelines, and let's close this one out.
Give them maybe a yard, quite the opposite from the previous big gainer.
Brandon, I've got to think this offensive line has got some smiles on its faces, and I know it sounds crazy, but they practiced for this back in training camp. They knew they'd be in situations where it'd be extra defenders in the box coming after them, trying to keep them from locking down a game. Right now, they want to show the world they're up to the challenge.
And able to get about 3 as he's taken down right at the 20.
Well, that's not a run that's going to make any of the highlight tapes, but they've been moving it well all game on the ground. This is another one that keeps them moving forward.
Here's a play fake as they set up to throw. And this is going to be incomplete.
I think that was a good job there defensively. They did allow them to drive all the way downfield, but once they got their backs to the goal line, they really turned up the pressure.
Yeah, they let them get all the way down here. Now the field shrinks. They've struggled to convert, and that last incompletion brings up 4th. And his kick is indeed good, and that will open the lead up now to 20-7. So that maybe not a knockout blow, but I suppose certainly every little bit helps when you're trying to salt one away in the 4th.
Well, the possibility of being beaten by 2 late touchdowns or at least sent to overtime does exist. But time, definitely a big factor factor at this stage of the game is in their favor.
And he's able to get this across the 20, but not by much, as he's marked down officially at the 21. The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive. And 3 interceptions in this game. And I would have to think, I wasn't a quarterback, but number 4 is kind of, oh, you're like, oh, man, I can't throw 4.
No, what's interesting is, what do the coaches decide to do now? Having thrown 3, do you alter your offensive strategy? Do you take the ball out of his hands and maybe turn to the running game? Or do you have that supreme confidence that he's going to turn things around?
We'll see what they do. And he'll get it up to the 33-yard line. So they'll come up 1st and 10 now from the 33. They go play action now. Jackson. And he takes a shot on the release, as this will be incomplete.
We've seen this quite a few times in this game. Offensive line unable to keep leverage, unable to keep people away, facing a lot of pressure. Fortunate just to get rid of it.
One of the reasons they're down is that inability, though, to stop the pressure. We saw another example of it there. And he'll get this only up to about the 35. A nice play design there with the touch pass. Looked good at the start, but bottom line, the defense was ready.
And they did a nice job scouting, didn't they? Not just scouting, but now executing once they saw the play for real after having worked on it all week in practice. They drilled on the play, then they drilled him.
And that'll be complete to Dobbins. And he will have a Ravens first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion. Now Jackson taps this forward jet sweep. And that play will go nowhere. Losing yardage back near midfield at the 49. The defensive coordinators love that. You got a cornerback willing to stick his nose in there, come up on run support, and stop that pop pass dead in its tracks.
And, partner, one good thing about trying to defend that play, you should see it coming the whole way. You see the receiver coming in motion in your direction. Nice job eluding the blocker, making the play behind the line of scrimmage, but an even better job studying the play before you have to try and defend it in a game.
On 3rd down, Jackson. And this one incomplete. And another throw that really could have been, maybe should have been intercepted. That would have been number 4. Instead, it's 4th down.
Well, how about the coverage we just saw him break out on 3rd down? Dime defense, blanketed the field with extra defensive backs and speed, unable to find an open hole to complete that pass.
Open man is Bateman. It's complete. So now following the roll of the dice, they've got a 1st and 10 inside the 35. Play action. Now Jackson. And that one drops down, incomplete. Good coverage there, forced the ball free, and it's 2nd down.
They went with a dime look on defense. 2 extra defensive backs on the field and covered up essentially every blade of grass. That allowed them to disrupt the play.
Jackson now on 2nd and 10. And he's just going to get rid of this thing. To no one here. He throws it away, and now it's 3rd.
I'm not even sure I know who this guy is out there playing right now. This is very unlike him. One of the most accurate guys in the league. Totally off his game right now.
I don't know. I was going to ask you what you pin it on, but defensively, they've been pretty solid.
But sometimes, you know, those defenders, they get into the receivers pretty well, and if they chip away at their timing, it's going to affect what you're doing throwing the ball as well.
2 minutes left to play in this football game here on EA Sports. So the ball down to the 16 here for 1st and 10. From the red zone now, they'll look to throw. And now they're inside the 10 as he's brought down at the 9. 2nd and 3 from the 9. And running room hard to come by here. He gets it down to the 8.
Hey, middle.
He didn't get the touchdown, but he did get the first down down as he's tackled at the 1. Now Jackson taps this forward jet sweep, and he takes this one into the end zone, and all of a sudden, here in the final minute, things get a little bit tighter. Tucker with the extra point, and now things get a bit more interesting here in this fourth quarter. Time definitely of the essence now, just under a minute to play, and here we go. The Saints going to call the first of their timeouts. That'll leave them with 2 remaining. We'll be back after this. Tucker now to kick it away following the touchdown. And he'll conserve whatever time he can as they'll opt to bring it out to the 25-yard line. The Saints offense on the field ready to get their drive started. And this game not quite in hand yet. We'll likely see all 3 timeouts defensively and then reassess where we are. They begin on the ground with Kamara. And a nice stiff arm. It opens room to run. A nice little juke. There he goes left side. And he's across for the touchdown. And in the final minute, that should just about seal it.
Let's go now.
I don't think you can get any more efficient or tidy, whatever word you want to use in that. And one play, 75 yards in zone.
Yeah, efficient, tidy, excellent words. How about explosive? 75 yards, one play. That means everyone handled their assignment, doesn't it? It doesn't just mean that the defense broke down. They really executed the way that was drawn up on the whiteboard. Big-time play, big-time result.
And beyond the 20, but not by much. In fact, just a yard pass there to the 21. The Baltimore offense at the line, set to get going. A long drive last time out for this offense, Charles. If you remember, they started basically in the shadows of their own end zone, marched it down the field, and a lot of that was through the passing game.
And partner, as a former defensive back, I'm having almost a physical reaction watching what's happening right now. But let's give credit where it's due, because they've done an excellent job moving the ball through the air. Secondary getting picked apart pass by pass. Obviously, they need to make some adjustments there on the back end.
He's got a man, complete. Now the Ravens going to use one of their timeouts as they stop it with 28 seconds to go in this football game. Throwing, Jackson. To the end zone, but it's incomplete.
Well, this defense has been physical all game long, and it certainly looks like they're not going to back off and make things any easier. They want to keep making life miserable for the receivers all the way to the end.
He's down inside the 10 to the 8, and it comes on a gain of 8. Now another timeout called for by the offense. That'll leave him with just one remaining in this fourth quarter of play. Now Jackson on the move to his left. Now he's got it. And he is into the end zone for the touchdown. So they still need a miracle with a clock where it's at, but they get one piece to the puzzle done.
Still have hope.
Tucker able to connect on the extra point. And now things get a bit more interesting here in this fourth quarter. So looking at this situation, you should have time for the onside kick and then at least one play. And this is going to be recovered by the hands team. And that should just about put a capper on this one. Well, fourth quarter, they felt like they needed the football back. Unfortunately, they couldn't get it.
And I know we brought analytics into the game, and someone has said here that the data says that when a team's expecting an onside kick, 80% of the time, the team expecting it, they do actually recover the ball, which is what we saw here. I just wonder if that number is much more of a anecdotal type of a number. Kind of like when the coaches tell us, well, when you score on special teams, 93% of the time you win the game. I'm still waiting to see that number is empirical.
What a finish in this one, Charles. You know, this group, they come in, they have to fight a hostile atmosphere every snap. They get the late score, they get the victory, and that flight home, it's going to be a little sweeter after this one.
And Brandon, just like you, I was fired up for that last sequence. How about that? Wouldn't you have loved to have been in the huddle when they were mounting that game-winning drive? Big-time moment. No one shied away from it. They tuned out the crowd, kept their heads, and executed the way they needed to earn that win.
So for the Saints, it'll be a 500 start as the win gets them back to 2-2. And now they'll have a few extra days here before they face the Panthers next week. Meanwhile, for Baltimore, the defeat is their first of the year as they drop to 3-1. And they'll try to get back on track next week as they head to Dallas to take on the Cowboys.